Look at this, folks. An estate agent is being named and shamed for asking people for a €2,000 deposit just to go on a waiting list. Not a deposit for a rental property, but to go on the list, a waiting list, or whether to rent a property or to buy a property. An estate agent by the name of Ken Murphy of Bridge Auctioneers in County Wexford exploited people in the midst of a housing crisis. People who are clearly desperate to find a home, and required €2,000 from them people just to go on a waiting list to get in line to try and purchase or rent one of these properties. I mean, exploitation at the highest level is what that is. And I hope that this man gets more than just a slap on the wrist. He deserves to be sacked immediately for doing that. People are struggling enough as it is without having to pay €2,000 just to get on a list, a waiting list. Imagine. I mean, that's what has this country destroyed. It's just sheer greed. Everybody wants to be driving the flashy cars and wearing the three-piece Armani suits and the big gaffs and the whole lot. It just sickens me. It really does. You know, money is paper at the end of the day. And yes, it makes the world go round. But believe me, it is 100% unequivocally the root of all evil. It really is. You know, but it doesn't make you happy. I know people out there with plenty of money and they're miserable. Miserable. One guy actually comes to mind. I spoke to him in an AA meeting one night. I was doing secretary in this particular meeting, and I never seen him before. He came into the meeting. I was speaking to him outside for about 5 minutes, and he was driving a beautiful car. And I passed comment on the car he was driving. He says, "Geez, that's a lovely looking car." It was a top of the range BMW, and it must have cost, I would imagine, in around 50 or 60,000. I mean, it was top of the range. And I said, "Geez, it must be a pleasure driving around that car each and every day." He says, "Believe me, it's not." He says, "The novelty soon wore off." He says, "Because no matter what I'm driving," he says, "or where I'm living, or how much money I have in the bank," he says, "it doesn't sort me out up here." He says, "It does nothing for me up there." He says, "I'm still miserable," he says, "each and every day." And that's why, he says, "I come to these meetings to try and find peace of mind." He says, "Because I don't find it," he says, "driving that car. I don't find it in the place I'm living." He says, "and I certainly don't find it within my bank account." Money is not the be all and end all that some people seem to think it is. Yes, the grass looks greener on the other side, but it's not always like that.